Okay, so since this hasn't been nerfed and apparently isn't a bug, this is the Flask bullshit powered by Hiltless. So the Flask bullshit is flasks which have a couple of modifiers we care about. The first thing we care about is use when charges are full, and the second thing we care about gains 6 or 7 charges when you're hit by an enemy. If we get hit a lot, then our flasks pop open. Our passives, the ones that matter, is Master Surgeon, which removes bleeding when you use a flask. Neat. Removes corrupting blood. Neat. Gain flask charge when you deal critical strike. Fairly irrelevant. And recover 6% of life when you use a flask, which is what makes this whole thing go. So what happens if you use Hiltless is that every time you hit somebody with an attack, you are being counted as being hit by an enemy for 100 physical damage, which means that all of your flasks get charges. When they're full, they get used. When they get used, you gain 6% of life, which more than negates the damage you're taking here. So what we then do after that is we are using Forbidden Rite with cast on crit to take more damage, because this just doesn't do enough damage to us. And then we have Brutality, cast on damage taken. In this particular case, I have all the physical spells: Ethereal Knives, Blade Fall, Blade Bast, and they're all supported by where is it? Life Tap. So I spend life for all those spells. Cast on damage taken, efficacy probably should be different. Control destruction, fine. Reap and exsanguinate. And I think I have a dash with life tap, blood rage, and also corrupting fever unlinked. Could this be better? Yes, absolutely. This is not min-maxed. This is super cheap. Getting the flasks, they drop in the acts. Getting the orbs to have them trigger when charges reach full is like 12 chaos-ish. Buying a Hiltless is 1 chaos if you can get somebody to respond to your trade request. I spent an Exalt on fusings, and that's why I have a 5 link. Alright, this is Glacier, which is tier monster level 76. We are level 79. So far so good. We can see what's going on. That fixes itself pretty quickly. It's not total massive, everything is doing weird stuff behavior. We are definitely seeing some dropped frames going on, which is impressive. This is not that sad a computer, but I guess we are recording right now as well, so that's not helping. Who is this? Oh, there's Crackling Sky Dude. Okay. So yeah, we tend to just do enough damage. We are not immune to elemental ailments right now, so we're getting shocked, we're getting ignited, we're getting frozen. Once I do my next lab, that will be fixed as well. And who has the Drought Bringer? Somebody, there you go, there's a Drought Bringer. So I don't do enough damage yet to blow through Drought Bringers at this point. So that's a drawback. So once every few maps you encounter a Drought Bringer, and then you figure out, oh, I need to not die to that. A little bit tricky because you have absolutely no idea what's going on these maps sometimes. But as long as we avoid the Drought Bringer, we can just do the rest of the map. But yeah, Drought Bringers will kill you. Not sure if I know of a way to fix that at this point, but there is still plenty of room left for this character to grow. The minions are moderately useless. The minions technically could get me killed, except they won't, because every time I get hit, I recover a bunch of life. So white mobs are fine. Let's just go say hi to the boss, so we can take a look at what that looks like. This is definitely the slower part of the build. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, what do we got? There we go. So for the bosses, it's worth it to actually cast like your curse. Take a second. And you're just waiting for your damage to take up. It's pretty hard for anything to do enough damage at this level, given our relatively mediocre armor. But, you know, they can try. Our life does shoot up and down all the time. That's just because of the way the flasks work. And yeah, there is a limitation that right now my damage isn't good enough to just blow through a Drought Bringer as soon as they enter the screen. And even for bosses at this level, it's a little bit challenging. We'll talk about my lack of damage in a second and the lack of optimization that's going on in this build at this time. Alright, let's go back to our hideout and let's talk about the lack of optimization. First of all, level 18 Ethereal Knife, 17 Blade Fall, 17 Blade Blast, not great, 17 Reap, 17 Exsanguinate, and our Corrupting Fever is level 15. So this can go higher. Our life can go up, and our passive tree is we're doing cast on crit. You can do cast while channeling if you prefer to do that for the Forbidden Rite. We use Iron Reflexes and we use Unwavering Stance, which allows us to do our conversions. We haven't done our 4th lab yet, so Mars the Alchemist will make us immune to ailments, mostly. At this point, there's a lot of life to be picked up. We have some weirdness still left over from leveling. We have minion wheel here and minion cluster here. I don't have enough refund points to fix that yet. So there's a lot of opportunity to still improve this build and min-max it. The other thing to keep in mind is that our cast and damage taken can cast a spell requiring level 70. These things are only level 64, so once this all catches up to each other, we're going to be in a much better space when it comes to how much damage we can deal with our spells. So yeah, this is all just pure damage gains. These levels here, pure damage gains. This should be probably Controlled Destruction and Brutality. 6 links are a thing, you should use those. Precision, Hail of Purity, Determination and Grace. That's just our aura setup. It's fine. Blood Rage, Corrupting Fever. Fine. Dash on Life Tap. I don't know if Life Tap's necessary. We have 15 mana and dash costs 15 mana. So maybe this is pointless. I don't know. And our gear in general is meh. Good life, cold res, accuracy, good belt. Did buy that for an X. But you don't need it. This isn't the amount of flash charges gained until we hit, I think, 67% increased, which we don't have right now. It is not as interesting because we don't go to popping our 6 charges gained per being hit every other flask. We're only doing it every third at this point, so we can increase our life recovery quite a bit as well. Helmet, floor? I want to say I picked this up off the floor. Amulet, pretty sure I picked this up off the floor as well. I did buy my rings. Yeah, that looks like something I would have bought. That looks like something I picked up off the floor. So, the gear is fairly trivial. The rolling of the flasks is moderately annoying. Drought Bringer will blow you up. But other than that, it allows you to run around with a cast from damage taken loop at, well, a couple dozen Chaos Orbs instead of starting out with 12 Exalted Orbs. So yeah, I'll keep tweaking this and improving it. It is by no means optimized. The only note on a tree that's really important is Master Surgeon. The rest can be whatever you want it to be. Because Master Surgeon just is the thing that makes this build work. So for a min-max version of the build, well, if you only care about Master Surgeon, you may as well not play Pathfinder and get it another way. And have a whole other ascendancy to play with, which seems like a good idea. And I'm not sure if Cyclone is the right call. It might be better to go with a different skill. So there's that aspect to it. And I'd like to find either a solution for Drought Bringer, or some level of mitigation for it. That's really the only thing that will kill you in maps. Everything else is not really able to do it at this level. Now at this level I'm like 76. No, 79, right? 79. The maps are 75. We're not on red maps yet, but I don't expect any issues on red maps either. Especially once we become immune to ailments. So yeah, working on this. It's something I would have assumed would not be okay, but apparently it is. So enjoy. Hiltless is the thing that makes everything work magically. And I'm sure that if you don't go with armor, you can probably leverage the Hiltless damage to take your initial set of damage, which could then trigger a cast from damage taken, Forbidden Rite, and be closer to the way that the Wardloop people are doing it. But this is fine. Except for the Drought Bringers, which blow you up even when you have 50% increased. Is 50%? Yeah, about 50% increased flash charges gained. Fun times.